Hello, Motor Rider World fans, and welcome to this very special chat, exclusive chat that we have with a Dakar star. We kind of call him a South African, but he's not really a South African. He's from the other side of the border in Botswana, but we kind of inherited him as one of our own. He is an African star, so that technically is all the same in Africa. Ross Branch, thank you so much for joining us. Been dying to speak to you because you now no longer in orange, you now in blue.
Rob, thanks so much for having me on the show. It's always awesome to join you for a chat. And some big changes in my life over the past couple of months, but we've gone to the blue side, and I'm really, really happy. A factory team. It's been a dream of mine since a little kid to be on a factory, and finally got that opportunity. So grab me with both hands and hoping for the best.
Nice. Yeah, when that announcement was made a couple of months ago, I was also like, well, like that came out of nowhere really, because you always, for so long, you have been this like orange, blue-eyed boy kind of thing. Now you this blue-eyed blue boy. So yeah, well done, congrats. And I mean this has all come from your hard work and the last 2 years that you put into the Dakar. Tell us, I mean, how did the whole Dakar experience come about? This is not something that you can just wake up one day and go, okay, let's go do the Dakar. Let's take a little bit of money and go. I mean, that was a huge step you took a couple of years ago.
Yeah, Rob, it was a really difficult time for us. It was big decisions had to be made, and obviously you have to put your whole life on the line, and not only myself, but my whole family, my wife, everybody takes a huge sacrifice to do the Dakar Rally, because not many people know that it costs 1.5 million rand at the least just to go and do Dakar once. And I was lucky enough to go do it twice. It all started back in the day when I was about 6 years old. I went to go watch the Paris-Le Cap with my dad, and from that day I said I wanted to do Dakar one day. When I'm mature enough in the mind to go and race a race like that, and not some crazy guy on a 125 cruising through around motocross tracks around South Africa. So it took a long time. We had to take many steps to get there. We started off with obviously the motocross nationals in South Africa, then going into the off-road South African off-road national championship, and Francisca backed me all the way when I decided that we needed to go to Dakar. She said, "Okay, Ross, I'll help you and support you, but we need 2 South African national championships with off-roads. Then we know we're ready to go." So we got that done, and then it was, the hardest part was trying to raise the money, but I had so much support from back home and around Africa that it was, doable. And we raised the money, set off on our first adventure, not knowing what to do, not knowing much about navigation, and thrown in the deep end. I was lucky enough to do one rally, the Kalahari Rally in Mafeking, before I went to Dakar for a bit of experience. And then that's it. We were on the plane, went over, and not knowing what to expect, I really enjoyed it. I loved every second of being on the bike. Kept it on 2 wheels. That was our main thing, is just to get to the finish line. You don't want to go there for 3 days on 1.4 million rand and throw it all away. So, just kept it together, and was lucky enough to win the rookie category and 13th overall. And then I needed to go back, because I felt that I didn't put it all out there, and I didn't put it all on the table, and I had something more to give. So lucky enough, all the sponsors were really happy to back me for the second year in a row. We did a lot of fundraising events, which I must say was incredible. The public and the racing community just came together for me in a big way. And without them, I definitely wouldn't have been able to do it. So huge thank you to everyone that supported me. And that's it. We're on our way to Saudi Arabia, a little bit of a different plan change. We wanted to go there and get a result, not just go there and finish. And obviously day 2, another dream was realized that I was fast enough to run with the top guys in the world with rally racing, and I won the stage. And it was incredible, just not only for me, but for everybody, my whole entire team, all the people that supported me saw that it was going to a good cause, and that we fast enough to win stages of Dakar. Day 3, obviously, I think was a bit of a tearjerker, not for me, but for everyone else that was supporting me. At kilometer 88, I had a bit of a crash, separating my shoulder and destroying our navigation tower, which was incredibly hard to ride after that. But you know, I had so many messages of support and people that are out there saying, no, we're not giving up on Ross. This is it. Come on, we've got to get to the finish. And although it's only day 3, you've got 9 days left to go, you still got it. We managed to crawl across the finish line and you know, just get home in a couple of pieces, but safe and sound that day. And you know, it was a weird sensation. You know, I get to bed that night and everybody, all the messages are like, don't worry, you know, you've won a stage. We're so proud of you. Let's just see what we can do. Just go out and have fun. And that's exactly what I did the next day. Day 4, I went out and had an absolute blast again. A little bit of pain, but managed to finish on the podium, which was incredible. You know, I said, okay, this is it. You know, I've got the speed. I've got everything I need. I could do a little bit more work on the navigation side of things, but we've got what it takes. So from that day, basically, I knew that I had to come back to Dakar again, and that's going to be another 1.5 million rand to raise. But you know, I just had that in the back of my mind. Just tick it off day by day and learn as much as you possibly can from the top guys that have been doing it for so many years and know the navigation like the back of their hand. And you know, every day we just try to tick off. And obviously, we had a bit more bad luck just before the rest day where the moose collapsed and the tire jumped off the rim, and it was a nightmare. You know, only I could see the finish. I could literally see it, and you know, I was one of those guys that used to sit on the couch watching the guys at Dakar saying, "Come on, man, you're only like 100 meters away. Push the bike, carry the bike. You can do it." And I was that guy in that position that was like, okay, there's nothing you can physically do to get the bike across the line.
Yes.
Yeah, so it was a little bit difficult, but we managed to get there. And then there on out, I was just about learning, you know, little things and trying to get little advantages where I can for next year, you know. And then Yamaha actually approached me at Dakar rest day and said, hey, listen, we're looking for another rider. Is there any opportunity for us to you know, talk about it and stuff? So it was a huge eye opener for me, you know, because I was so down there because I'd messed up. Basically, I won a stage, put myself in a position where we could definitely go top 10. And I personally felt that I'd thrown away with my crash, and then obviously the bad luck. So I didn't think that there was any opportunity of going to a factory team or opening some guys' eyes like my plan was. And for me, that on rest day made a big thing. You know, it was a big statement made by Yamaha to say, hey, listen, we're looking at you. Are you keen to come across? And obviously my relationship with KTM has been incredible. You know, they've backed me up, and KTM South Africa has been unbelievable to me. They've really helped my whole entire career and played a big role in it. So it was really difficult, but you know, that was the goal. I want to go and you know, make my mark at Dakar. So the decision had to be made sooner or later. It took a couple of months with negotiations backwards and forwards. And here we are, you know, on a factory team. Like I say, been a dream of mine since a child, you know, and being with the team for a couple of months, being in Portugal, testing for a few days before the COVID pandemic hit. It was an amazing feeling, you know, and having a teammate like Andrew Short, Van Beveren, you know, Franco Kaimi, Jamie McKenny. It's a team full of fast riders, and you know, I can only learn from them, and that's a big thing. You know, I need to learn quickly because I don't have so many years. But I think I've put myself in a good position to learn as much as I can, and then when Dakar eventually comes around, I think I'll be ready to go for another good result and you know, try and follow the Alfie Cox and try and get on the podium of Dakar. That's definitely the goal.
Dude, it's just such an amazing, it's like a fairy tale story almost, because we did. I mean, I come obviously from the more superbike kind of background. So I watched the whole thing, and I mean, we were all cheering for you, whether you superbike, motocross, off-road, go-karting cars. We just had this now, the star, like we did with Alfie Cox previously, to now scream for in the Dakar. We've obviously had a lot of guys go over and do Dakar, but now we had this real guy on a mantelpiece that we could shout for. And I want to know, obviously in the road racing side and superbike side, there's the Isle of Man TT, and the Dakar kind of is the premier, hardest kind of event in off-road racing kind of thing. And I want to know that conversation when you went to your wife and said, honey, I'm going to enter the Dakar. Because I know if I went to my wife and said, Ames, I'm going to go into the TT, before I could even finish the conversation, she would have slapped me across the face. Tell me how that went down.
Yeah, I'm very lucky to have the wife I do. She's backed me from day one and been my number one supporter through thick and thin, for sure. We've known each other since we were 4 years old, and she's been a part of my racing career from the beginning. So it was a difficult conversation for sure, especially with what happened in 2020 with Paulo. It was not easy. Especially going there to the whole family. My wife, my dad, and my sister. They've been a part of my racing career forever. So for them to back me in this wasn't difficult, but it was nerve wracking, because it's like, okay, cool, you're going to be entering the toughest race in the world. And I think everybody knows me. I don't think I'm just going there to go slow, So I think they know that I'm going to push the limit a little bit. But like I say, I've definitely by far got the best support team, and I didn't have to worry about even being a question. They just said, okay, how are we going to do this? We've got a lot of obstacles ahead of us, a lot of hurdles to overcome. And believe me, I was the one a couple of those times when we were trying to raise money to say, hey, listen, I can't do this anymore. And they were the ones that were saying, no, this is it. We entered. You never give up. That's the way we've always worked. That's the way we've been brought up. That's what we're doing. Once you've entered, you've done it. You're the one that said we're going. They've backed me 100%. Now this is that. We're going to do this. So it was really difficult, but like I say, it was a dream come true, and for sure, it's something that's been on the bucket list. I think not only for me, but for my wife, for my dad. Everybody's wanted to see how we could do. It's never been a question of just going there to finish for us. Unfortunately, it's the race that we've wanted to be a part of and challenge. It's not the race that we wanted to go there and just get across the finish line. The first year was so important to cross the finish line, just so I could show people that I'm mentally mature enough to enter the race and last the full 12 days, because back in the day I would never have lost the day one. So I'm ready for that now, and I think it paid off. When we signed with the team, there was a lot of tears of joy from all of us. I think it wasn't just something for me. It was something that we've all put so much hard work and effort in for so many years. Now it's all up to me. I've got to get up on the bike and go and ride. I don't have to worry about raising the money to pay for the entry fee and all that kind of stuff. So, I've just been putting the focus in on doing road books and physical training like I've never done before. And I'm excited what the future holds. It's like starting from scratch. Now we've got to go and we've got to try and put the bike on the podium. That's a bottom line. There's no taking it easy anymore. And I've got to be ready to do that. Mentally, physically, I've got to be strong enough to take on the world. And that's unfortunately how it is. I think at this point in time, I think Africa sportsmen are doing amazing. I was in tears last weekend watching Brad Binder win. So and it gives us all hope. It's possible that there's just us Southern Africans have so much exposure and we've got so much to offer the world. So I think a lot of pressure on my shoulders, but we definitely have the ability to do it. We definitely have the ability to go and win races. So I'm excited. I'm super excited. 2020 has been a little bit of a sad year for all of us, as we can say, because we've been in and out of lockdowns and nobody's sure of the future. But for me, it's like, okay, cool. Listen, use this time to prepare, get your body physically and mentally healthy, and be 100%, 110% when Dakar rolls around. So I can safely say that I'm fit, I'm healthy. No injuries are holding me up, and this time I've had to take time off the bike to recover and get 100% ready. So I think, being in a good place at the moment. COVID's have its ups and downs, but for me, it's been amazing. This is the most time I could spend at home with my wife, and now I'm ready to go racing. The body's ready, I'm physically ready, and I'm really excited.
Yeah, dude, I love the excitement. You make me want to climb on a dirt bike and go do the Dakar, but I will destroy myself. Tell me again, from the road racing background, we go on a track, we know it's a right, it's a left coming, it's tight, it's sharp. I look at those navigations that you guys have to do, and I think the hardest part is actually not riding the motorbike, it's actually the navigation side, because on the road bike, like I said, we know what's coming. There's no camels, there's no dunes, there's nothing. Is the navigation part the biggest part of the preparation? I mean, I see photos of you guys sitting in your camper homes, literally with with different color coat keys going through that navigation. I mean, how the hell does that work? When you're in 100 kilometers of just dunes, how do you know when to turn left and when to turn right?
It's extremely difficult, that's definitely it. Navigation is the whole race. You can have the fastest bike in the world. If you can't navigate, you're never going to get anywhere close to the front runners. And I must say, that's one thing that I'm lacking a little bit, is navigating at the high speeds like they do. But slowly but surely, I'm getting to grips with it. You only got a piece of paper roll that you have to turn with your thumb. It's a little switch on the handlebar. And then you got to look at that roll. And the writing's pretty small when you're doing 160 plus k's an hour through the bush where there's rocks and, trees and everything like that. So, for me, it's the best part of the racing. I love navigating. I love the challenge of it, because you never know if you're right and wrong. And especially you get 300 waypoints in a day on a daily stage. And you have to pass within 90 meters of that waypoint. And like you say, when you've got hundreds of kilometers of desert dunes, trying to find that 90 meters is like trying to find a needle in a haystack. So it's really difficult, and it's funny because sometimes you're cruising along at 140, 150 k's an hour. You think you're going in the right direction, and you'll have a guy that comes directly back towards you, so you're constantly second guessing yourself. Is he right or am I right? Is he wrong? And so it's like, okay, well, I think I'm right, so I'm just going to carry on like exactly the route that I'm doing, and then it pays off sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't pay off. You get up 5 k's down the road and you realize that you've missed the waypoint. Then you have to turn around, and then you that guy going towards the competitor at 140, 150 k's an hour. So it's crazy, it's there's so many stories I can tell you of when I've been out there and you think, yes, I'm completely lost. And you see dust in the distance and you think, well, maybe he's found the waypoint. So you shoot off following the dust, trying to find it. And obviously now you get a bit nervous because you think you're losing time because you've lost the waypoint. And it's just something that you actually have to get used to, is to calm yourself down and, okay, listen, Ross, you've missed the waypoint, turn around, go back and try and find it. But just take it easy, because that's often when you lose a bit of focus, and when you hit rocks or you hit big holes and stuff like that you're not aware of, because it's not marked in the road book. You're going the wrong way. You don't know where you are in the road book. So there's 1,000 factors that play against you in Dakar. That's trying to get you out of Dakar. So you've got to really you've got to really have your head on your shoulders and focus on the right things, not the wrong things. And unfortunately, when you do lose time, the first thing that comes into your head is, oh, you know what, there's a million people back home watching me, and now they're all going to be disappointed and say, oh, how can this guy be lost, or how can he lose 15 minutes to the leader, or something like that, so that plays a big mental part in your head. So you've got to take it with a pinch of salt and keep your head on your shoulders. Okay, cool, you've lost a bit of time today, don't worry, you've got another 6 or 7 days to catch up. You can put the hammer down tomorrow when you know where you're going. Just take it easy today, ride safe, and don't crash. Unfortunately, that's what happened on day 3 in 2020. I was leading. I knew, okay, cool. I knew I was fast enough to run with the top guys, but could I navigate from the front when there's no tracks to follow at that speed? And I think the first sector, the team told me that I wasn't navigating fast enough to run in the top 10, which was amazing. Not many guys do that. So I was really happy. And then at kilometer 88, I made a small mistake. I got lost for 3 or 4 minutes. And then I started putting pressure on myself, saying, hey, listen, you need to get going. You're lost. Get going. Just find the track and go. And it was a small mistake. I put the back wheel over a little berm, and there was a big lurker just off the track. And unfortunately, the back wheel hit that. And when the bike is so full of fuel, it's really heavy. So you've actually got no way of coming back. It's, it's like a super hectic high side on a road. Once it starts, there's no saving it.
Nothing.
You're just hanging on for the ride and looking for the softest place to land. I've just got to do a little bit of work on my mental health like that, and just say, okay, hey, listen, if you've lost time, you've lost time. That's it. Let's throw today's stage away. Just try to finish as close to the front as you can, and redo it again tomorrow. And with being on a factory team now, there's so many things that come with it, Rob. They don't want you to win stages. They want you to finish in the top 5. So, the following day you can opening a stage is fun because you've won, and that's obviously you want to be in that handful of riders that has won a stage and stuff like that. it's not really worth it because you go out and open the road for everyone else. So they go at 80-90%, where you go in at 50-60% because you're not too sure if you're going the right way. You basically looking for the dangers for the guys and marking the route for them. So yeah, I think, strategically this year is going to be a little bit different, but I'm excited. Unfortunately, it brings me back to the level where I've got to start learning again, and factory's obviously going to say, hey, listen, these are the stages we want to do well at, these are the stages we want to slow down at. So yeah, I'm super excited. I'm so motivated, and I just want to get racing. I wanted to do Morocco in October, just to go out and see what it's about, be a part of the team, and be in the bivouac with the team, and those guys that I used to walk past and be like, yes, one day I can be like that. Now I'm in that tent, so. Yeah. So yeah, it's super exciting, and yeah, like I say, I just want to start racing.
Yeah, I can imagine you must be just itching at the bone to go over there and do that. You were talking about the million factors that get thrown in at the Dakar, and another thing that boggles my mind is you guys are riding flat out wherever, and there's quads and cars just left, right, and center of you. I mean, how does that work? You're just riding along and a car comes blasting past you, or you got to blast past a car. I mean, at some point you got to look at this and go, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah, for sure. It's to tell you the truth, when people asked me what my goal was for the first Dakar, my first answer was, I don't want to get passed by a car. Lucky enough, the bikes start in front, so if you're fast enough on the day, then you shouldn't get passed by a car. But I think it was the second last stage of my first year. They started bike, car, truck, bike, car, truck, bike, car, truck for the top 25 guys. And that was insane. I had a car and a truck to pass, and not only one. Obviously, I had a couple of them because I started 15th or something like that in the bike category. So I was like 25th on the road behind cars and trucks, and it's not a place you really want to be in. No. The dust factor is insane, and the one thing I'll never ever forget is I could see a truck way ahead of me. So I thought, okay, you're only 40 k's from the finish. Let's just try and keep this gap. Let him finish before you. You don't have to pass him. And unfortunately, I caught him because in the dunes, obviously, they're a lot slower than the bikes. And I'll never forget that when I passed him, I was riding next to him, and I looked up at him where he couldn't even see me. So I was just like, oh, okay, I need to get out of here. And the next couple of days I rode so easy that I didn't fall over because I didn't want this monster jumping a dune and landing on top of me. So that was officially the scariest part of my first Dakar experience. But yeah, it adds to the danger for sure. They make a dust cloud of note, and you're actually riding blind, and you're hoping for the best because you can't see the rocks and the lurkers, and in the fish, you can't even see anything in the best of times. So now when you follow in a car or truck, it's a nightmare. So you really don't want to be in that position. You don't want to be behind cars or trucks, and yeah, that's why the best you stay on two wheels and get to the finish quicker than them.
Yeah, that's the best way. Yeah, just do that from now on, because it gives us heart attacks when we watch it as well. It just blows my mind. From a superbike rider point of view, we're like, why would you do this to yourself? You don't know what's coming. My mind cannot wrap around that. It's absolutely insane. Roch, you've signed for Monster Energy Yamaha now. You've had some time with the team. Tell us about that experience. Where did you go? What did you do? And of course, meeting the team and experiencing now what is pretty much a motocross bike in the YZ450, I think, turned into the bike. Tell us, I mean, how does the bike feel? You haven't had a lot of time with it over there, but you've spent some time with it here. What's the difference compared to where you came from to now?
Yeah, definitely. The bike is incredible. The team is amazing. What blows my mind is how professional everybody is. Everybody is so professional, and you have to be on the top of your game even when it goes to training, because you get asked so many questions by the team that you have to have so many answers, and it's really incredible. You give them a little bit of feedback and they make a change straight away to your bike, and so it suits me. I built the bike for myself, and it's really something new to me. definitely I've never been in this position where I've got so much going on and so much, I can ask for anything, a different suspension, different anything on the bike, and it's changed within 5 minutes, So for me, it's really building the bike, and that's what I've got to get to grips with, is building the bike to me, not just getting on a bike that's built for somebody else and trying to make a few adjustments here and there. So for me, that's been incredible, just to be a part of that has been mind-blowing. We're in Portugal. Unfortunately, we're supposed to be there for 3 weeks, but we're only there for 2 days due to the pandemic. But in those 2 days, I learned so much, and I only got to ride with Andrew Short during that time, but he just blew my mind. There was so many changes that he made within a half an hour period to the bike, and that was incredible. So I learned a lot, just during those 2 days, and then for when I could come home and test here. So I learned from them, and then obviously getting the bike back home. Yeah, I've been riding almost every day except for now when we've been put in lockdown. I've been staying at home, but it's incredible learning a little bit here, and the power delivery of the bike here and there, and top speed on the hard pack, top speed in the sand. There's so many different variables that you're going to look at and trying to make the perfect bike. And I'm really comfortable. The bike is like a motocross bike. Like you said, they built it from the motocross version, which suits my riding style, because obviously coming from a motocross background, I prefer that. And I'm loving it. I'm absolutely so happy on the bike, and the bike works well to how I've set it up. And obviously we can make a few changes here and there to fix it up in a certain kind of place. But I'm super happy, for me, I think that we've got a winning combination now. The team is like out of this world, and they're so friendly. It's a family, I'm all about the family vibe, and everybody being involved knows you and treats you like a part of the family. And that for me is a huge thing. They phone me now once a week just to check how I'm doing, see that I'm okay, and seeing that I'm happy with everything. And it's really, really impressive. And I think from here we can only move forward. I'm definitely in a good space of mind. I think I'm strong enough to go and, like I say, get a top 10 for sure. So that's what we're going to work on. And like I say, being a part of the factory is incredible feeling. I've worked really, really hard for so many years, and now it's paying off. So now the rest is back up to me. I've got to go out and get the results that I want to get, not just for myself, but for my family, for my friends, for everybody that supported me, everybody that believes in me. Like you say, there is thousands of messages. I had to actually put a limit on every evening watching my phone, because a friend was like, hey, listen, you only got half an hour to look at your phone tonight, because there's so many messages and I want to reply to every single one of them, But it means the world to me. Having so much support from back home, it keeps you going. It really keeps you positive for the next couple of days. So I think we've got everything in order. To say that I'm a part of the Monster Energy Factory Yamaha team is something that I could have ever only dreamed of. So I'm really excited.
Oh, dude, like I said, I absolutely love it, man. I just love the enthusiasm. You've always been that kind of guy that just, like Brad Binder, you just love to go racing, and you love, a lot of people, and you can understand, because there's a lot of pressure, especially coming now that you're in a factory team. It's all glitz and glamour, and you've got this, but there's this pressure that comes with it. You've got to keep up with media, you've got to keep up appearances, and there's a lot expected of you now. So people sometimes overlook that. He's in a factory team, you must be living the life, but there is a lot of pressure that comes from that side. So you're going to have to deal with that. So that's something you're going to have to deal with as well. Obviously you were touching on, COVID hits us in 2020, and that kind of interrupted preparation, but I've seen some awesome videos of you doing 6 million Ks an hour on the side of the road, stand-up wheelies on your beautiful new Yamaha machine. How has it changed your preparation? Yamaha have obviously sent you a bike, and is it just a case of now you climbing on your bike every day, and when you can, when it's not lockdown, and just going and riding?
There's a lot that goes with everything, So when they sent the bike over here, I've obviously got to ride a certain amount of times during the week just to give a report back, and obviously so we can carry on testing and everything, from top speed to bottom end, everything like that, we're working on. So I try to make as many road books as I can for myself. Luckily enough, I live close to, an enormous amount of open area. So I'm lucky enough to just jump on my bike from my house and go and do 500, 600 Ks of road book in a day. So for me, that's the biggest thing. I need to focus on the road book, just so mentally and I'm prepared for doing those long days and navigating as well as I possibly can. So yeah, I'm definitely trying to ride as much as I can just to get used to the bike and get the navigation back on point where it needs to be. It's a little bit difficult, because my plan was to ride the 3 or 4 rounds of the World Championship this year and then compete. Obviously, World Championship thing for me is still huge. If there's an opportunity to go and chase a World Championship, that's what I want to do. So that was definitely the plan, was to do the first couple of rounds and just see how we did. And obviously just, that's all testing towards Dakar. Everything on rally is about Dakar. So unfortunately, with all these rounds being cancelled, we don't have any racing to go to. And I think every motorsport athlete knows exactly that the racing is the best form of training you can do, because you can see where everybody else is, see if you're behind or ahead of the guys, and see how much work you have to go back home and do. So unfortunately, we don't have that at the moment, but I've still set high standards for myself, and I think as long as I'm ready as much as I can be, then I think we'll be ready for Dakar. Whether or not we get to do a race this year is still, up in the air with the pandemic. The only one that's left on the World Championship calendar is Abu Dhabi in November, and then it's a risk, because now we're close to Dakar, and we don't want to either get injured or ruin the bike or do something stupid before Dakar. So now we've got to weigh up our options. Is it worth going to Abu Dhabi and testing and then still trying to go for a result because it is part of the World Championship, or do we just write it off and say, hey, listen, now it's up to the riders. You gotta be ready for Dakar. Come hell or high water, you guys have to be physically ready. You got to be mentally ready. You got to have your roadbook stuff under control. You've got to be ready. So there's no testing with the team. You've just got to go. It's being thrown back in the deep end, which I think us Africans are used to. I think we're used to being thrown in the deep end. So for me, I'm just gonna put everything aside and focus on Dakar and say, okay, if we get to do a round before there, it's a bonus. I can learn, and we can see how everything works, little things, how everything works in the team and stuff like that. If not, let's just go for it. Dakar is definitely the goal, and just be ready when you get there. At the end of the day, I know how to ride a bike. I know how to navigate at the moment. So that's all. I've just got to get on the start line and just do what I need to do. Everything else, we'll take it as it comes, and just stay in one piece for this Dakar and try knock off those good results.
So Ross, what is the news now from Dakar? I mean, where is it? When is it happening? It's obviously the 2021 Dakar, because it starts in January, kind of the 1st of January. So now the last 3 years, I want to know as well, you obviously haven't celebrated like a New Year's with your family or anything, because, you go straight over and it's prep for Dakar. And instead of getting doped up the night before and, waking up with a massive hangover, you wake up and you climb on a bike and ride with camels, cars, trucks, and everything for all day.
Yeah, Rob, it's interesting you say that. A lot of people forget that, when the whole year is winding down for everybody else, they get into the festive mood, and, it's browsed by the pool and, having a jaw and everything going into December. All their racing's done. And, for me, that's probably the most important time. I'm lucky enough to have family friends that own a lodge in the Delta called Guba Lagoon Camp, and they opened it up in December for me to just go and train, purely just train. So I'm lucky enough, myself and my wife go down there, and we love it because it's relaxing as well as training every day. They've got a lot of sand. They've also got hundreds of kilometers of road book to do. So for December, it's probably my most intense month of training and focusing on that. Yeah, we definitely, in bed early every night for December. And then, leave your family and friends the day after Christmas. On Boxing Day, I'm on the airplane to go over to Dakar, which is also hard. They all want to see me and spend the festive time together. But, it's a celebration in its own. Just the fact that I'm in a position to go and race Dakar Rally is incredible. So I think everybody celebrates. We have a nice big Christmas lunch. And the next day I'm on a plane, and everybody's full with excitement, nerves, and joy. Everybody's so happy. So for us, it's a couple of years that we're going to put the celebrating of New Year's Eve and stuff on hold. But it's amazing. It's an amazing feeling waking up in a different country, going, okay, cool, I'm entering the biggest race of my life. This is it. How else can it's the best way to celebrate a new year. Every motorsport
Yep.
athlete would love to celebrate a new year like that, going into something so big and you know, saying, okay, this is the biggest race of our lives, and it starts in the new year, and especially if it goes well, you know. 2019 was probably the best year of my life because I won the rookie category and so motivated to go back to Dakar that I had the whole year just to say, listen, I can't wait for December. I can't wait for the new year, you know. So, especially now, all the times that we've been through, Dakar apparently at this point in time is definitely happening. So that's one thing I have to look forward to. You know, everybody else is like, oh, you know, the lockdowns and the pandemic is ruining the economy and stuff like that. And for sure it is, you know, but let's keep focused. Let's keep motivated. Let's be happy about, you know, 2021 is going to be an amazing year, you know, if we get this COVID under control, and let's go into January with, you know, everything we have. Let's get out there. Let's get it. You know, if we have to start from scratch, we have to start from scratch. A lot of companies are going to have to do that, but January is a new start. Let's put 2020 behind us and let's focus on 2021. So the best way to do it is on my motorbike at 160 k's an hour. Sometimes with my eyes closed, sometimes with my eyes open. But definitely looking forward to it.
Ross, dude, absolutely. Like, I love it. Thanks so much for chatting to us. Motor Rider World is a new venture of mine. The website's launching 31st of August. This will be one of the first videos up there. We're going to follow you closely. We're going to follow all of our South African guys and African guys very closely. We wish you nothing but the best of luck. Like I said, we'll bring Motor Rider World fans up close and personal with you as often as we can. So this will definitely not be the last time we're going to be talking to you. And just all the best to you and your entire family. I love the enthusiasm. We've always known you've been this guy that just breeds positivity. You love riding your motorbike. And even in the darkest times at last year's Dakar, when we saw that you were a beaten and you were a broken down man, like you said, those messages of support, just the next day you woke up, you were refreshed, and you just got on with the job. And yeah, absolutely good luck, bro. We're going to keep shouting for you, man. We're going to keep cheering for you. We're going to expose you as much as possible because we want to show Monster Energy Yamaha that you've got so much support here. And ultimately for them, it's about the coverage. And that is what we're going to give you.
Thank you so much, Rob. And all the best with the new venture. Yeah, thank you so much for having me on the show. And thank you so much to all the supporters and the fans and everybody that keeps me going. Without you guys, it wouldn't be possible. So huge thank you to you guys.
Thanks, Rosh, and good luck, and we'll catch up to you soon, mate.
Thanks so much, Rob. Have a good one.
Cheers, bud.